Hey everybody, it's Chuck and I'm back out in the shop. Tonight I'm going to show this little trick I learned a couple years back from someone, and I thought I'd share it with you tonight. It's cold outside. You're either jigging, you got a tip up set up, you might have a dead stick set up in another hole. So like I said, it's cold. What's going to happen? It's going to start to slush, then it's going to freeze over. If you got your tip up, you're going to have to chisel it out with your spud. You might damage the tip up. You might lose the fish. What's going to happen if your dead stick freezes up? Same thing, except you might even cut your line and lose your bait. Right? Hole's frozen. That rod tip is not going anywhere. You can't tell if there's anything on there or not. You're jigging. The line starts to freeze up. You know, your line gets stuck on the corner or the edge of a hole where it's starting to slush over. You know, it's all a pain in the butt. You got to play with your scoop, get it. Your tip ups and dead sticks, you're pretty much. So, you used to be able to run an aerator. Right? And I had one that would go 80 hours. You know how much two D-size D-cell batteries cost these days? $8-9 just for two batteries, you know, for the good ones. And you want the good ones if you're going to be out in the cold all day long. That's going to rack up some change over a good long ice fishing season. So, the nice thing is Clam came out with a rechargeable lithium battery-operated aerator a couple years back, and I love them. Man, I've got 2 of them already. Just bought 2 more, and they're great. Love them. All of them still run. So like I said, lithium, rechargeable, no more batteries. It comes with 2 air lines and a pair of stones. No snickering, please. And I can hook them up right there. Then I can flip it around. Next to this little red thing right there, that's your charging port. This is your on and off, except it's got 2 settings. So I can run it continuously. And what I did, you might be able to see this, I took a Sharpie and I filled in one end. That's just to remind me that's the continuous mode. Because the other option would be the intermittent mode. It's going to run for a while, it's going to pause, then it'll run again. Saves your battery, and you can get by with this on a, let's say it's 32 degrees and it's mostly sunny. Right? Your hole's not going to freeze over, but it's getting real close. You know, if wind picks up or it gets a cloud come over, stuff might start to slush up. So what I did was I took some scrap wood, and this piece I cut over on the bandsaw. This used to be 2, or it used to be 1, now it's 2. Then I took some cable zip ties, zip tied it to the wood. Why did I do that? Just to get it out of the water. You drill a hole. It's not just ice shavings coming up the hole, but it's water also. So that just keeps it out of the water. It's fairly waterproof, water resistant as it is. But why take a chance? You know, treat your equipment good and your equipment will be good to you. All right, so next, I put my hoses on, drop them over the side. I want those hoses to be able to go to the bottom of the hole. That's going to keep water flowing. All right, that's going to be what's preventing your hole from freezing up. Like I said, whether you're jigging, it's a dead stick rig, or you're running a tip up. All right. Even the ones with the little hubs over them, the caps over them, in cold enough weather will freeze up. Nice thing about those is it keeps the snow from blowing into your hole. You know, those are pretty awesome. Put it down, have the stones at the edge of the bottom of the hole. You got water moving around, that keeps it from freezing up. You know, already explained that. Extra bonus. The more the water keeps circulating, the bottom of the hole starts to lose that edge. You know, you just cut it with a bunch of razor blades and it's sharp down there. Right? This will start to round out those edges at the bottom of your hole. Two things. It will save the fish from getting torn up. Okay, what do you mean by that? Well, if you've ever caught a good-sized walleye or a northern through the hole, you're going to lay it on the ice. You know, you're keeping that fish. They taste delicious. And pretty soon you're going to see a bunch of scratches, bloody scratches on the belly of that fish. That's because it fought its way up the hole. It didn't want to come up, so it's going to do everything it can to stay down. Well, it scratched it, you know, the belly up pretty good. Now, if you want to release that fish, it's going to survive. But be nice to the fish. You know, you're going to at least release it in good shape. No bloody marks, no scent in the water for a predator to come by. And the second thing is, you got a fish, what do they usually do? The darn things will go horizontal on you. What does that mean? Well, here's the ice. There's your hole. There's the fish trying to get away. Your line's at the bottom of that hole. You could stick the rod tip in, but then you got a frozen mess when you got to deal with that too. This aerator, like I said, keeps that all rounded. The edges will wear out or round out. Keeps the hole from freezing up. You can run your tip up. You can run your dead stick. So if I'm going to have, or maybe even a jaw jacker rig, I can put my aerator next to one of those holes. It won't interfere with the fish biting. My dead stick or a traditional tip up. It's out of the water. It's on the wood. It's zip tied. It's not going to go anywhere. Even if it goes into the hole by mistake. Flotation keeps it. And I have dumped, you know, a perch fishing out on Lake Erie. I have dumped the unit into the bucket before. Yeah, I didn't have to break out the rice, put it this way. It still functions. And I couldn't tell you if it's this one or that one. But they do work great. So, keep your holes open. Round out the sharp edges at the bottom of your hole. Stop your line from breaking. Stop the fish from getting tore up. And that is my tip for the day. Clam's rechargeable lithium aerator.